Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special Mother's Day edition of Always Open. You thought we were off season. You thought. But we're
not
we
wrong.
still are, kind of. But we're back for a special episode. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Mother's Day, of course, and all things about parenthood, what your mother taught you, all that fun stuff, as well as playing a game of Cupidity and also doing our fun old box of issues. On today's show, you got me, Barbara Dunkelman, as well as...
I don't know where I'm looking.
Yes. Whatever you want.
Thank you. Hi, Anna Hullum.
I'm Lindsay Jones.
And it's me. Oh, where is it?
Oh.
Your friendly neighborhood Mary.
I thought you were gonna rip your shirt open, dude. I was like, oh my god. It's always open first.
Make me a mother now!
Oh, no, please no.
Michael, I'm sorry.
I couldn't help myself.
To do this.
The clothes were coming off.
Too many feelings.
I just didn't know what else to do.
You got a name tag.
I got my name tag. I got these sent to me, and I am a horrible person because I left them on my desk for forever. And today, can you see it? There you go.
It says,
so-
it's me, your friendly neighborhood.
Friendly neighborhood Mariel, and some lovely, lovely person wrote. I'll read it real quick. Hi Mariel, I thought you could use some of these. I've been a Rooster Teeth fan for a while, and as a woman, I'm glad Always Open is a thing. As a woman of color, I'm glad to see you. Sorry if this is awkward. It's not, but I'd like to tell you. I'd like to let you and all the other peeps know that you're doing a great job. Your friendly neighborhood fan, Mulan.
Oh, hey, Mulan.
Her name's Mulan.
That's awesome.
Mulan.
That's an amazing.
Badass.
So thank you so much. I love them,
Or your name.
and it's
It's beautiful.
And now we know who you are.
now you know who I am. I know.
I'm gonna
Before I
find
didn't.
one of those though and write in, it's a me, your friendly neighborhood Mario.
Mario. I'll give you one.
Heads up.
She sent me this one and she wrote my name on it, but the rest of them are blank.
I don't know why we haven't done an It's a Me Mario shirt. Like you dress as Mario.
We've got
Keep
a
it,
lot of
it's
shirts
yours.
that we're trying to make.
It's true. Well, welcome, guys. Anna, it's your first time.
Yeah, welcome.
Got big chairs.
Come on down.
Anna is like, you're like my mom away from mom.
Aw.
I know it's like home away from home.
Anna's basically the Rooster Teeth mom. You kind of seem like anytime someone's around and we just need something, you're there. You're like, hey girl,
There.
It's very
you need a
trust.
hug? You want to talk? I got you.
like air of like motherly comfort and love that I think everyone who knows you feels.
She's a healer class.
So sweet. I love that. That's so sweet. Thanks.
But yeah, we've been wanting to get you on the show for a while, and we're like, what perfect way to get you on for the first time than a Mother's Day special.
I want to talk
Here we
about
are.
mothers.
Also, my other favorite mom, Lindsay.
Me.
Yes.
Surprise! I am pregnant. I'm not.
Congrats.
That's how you get the rumor mill started.
Tell your girlfriend she's very impressive.
Girlfriend.
Magic.
I like that we have both sides of the spectrum, I think, of mothers too. It's like experienced, very mature, capable. And it's like, then Lindsay rolls up like, hey, what's up? Let's get drunk. Okay, cool. I gotta get a little, loosey-goosey.
Yeah,
Shake the nerves out.
Well, you're still a new mom. Iris is about to turn a year in
Yes.
a couple weeks. I still can't believe
Going
that.
too fast. Stop it.
Well, let's forget.
Deep breaths.
As a-
Deep breaths.
Yeah.
It doesn't slow down.
Yeah, no.
Let's start the show off with our shot. This is the Surfer on Acid shot.
All right.
I like it. Submitted by Sandy S. And it's got Jäger, pineapple
Sandy
juice, and
Surfer.
Malibu coconut rum. And you're doing
Tequila.
the good old-fashioned tequila.
Yes. Well, you're a bold woman.
Tough but tender.
Yeah, I can't.
That's right.
Nope.
Cheers, cheers, my ladies and my mothers.
Yes. A tip of the fedora.
That was not the time for a laugh.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That was good. That was really good.
I didn't like
I got to
it.
work on my comedic
like
timing.
it?
I don't like that one.
We should. You didn't like it?
I don't like
My
it.
body's still trying to
Jessica
decide.
Negri?
Want some lime?
My body's figuring it out right now.
Really? I liked it.
Licorice? It tastes like licorice?
It kind of, yeah, like it tastes like sunscreen mixed with licorice.
Oh, okay. Is there absinthe in there?
Is there, or anise?
You're like, really? Texas.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad at all.
When people ask for those,
What was it again?
Jaeger, Malibu,
Jaeger.
and
That's
pineapple.
We should have had Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
Jaeger bombs for Jaeger moms.
Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs.
We should have done a Jaeger mom shot.
Missed opportunity.
Maybe we could whip one up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got a bartender.
Can I be an Irish car mom instead?
you in a minivan.
Soccer's at 3.
What other puns can we come up with for drinks?
Over the
I'm
worst.
sure it'll happen throughout the show.
Yeah.
I find the more I drink, the more puns I come up with.
Are the Togosas official? Finally?
Yeah.
Togosa.
Togosa.
It's a
Yeah.
mimosa to go.
So, for the working woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all the working mom needs.
Let's take a set.
Set.
All right, well, let's get things started with a game of cupidity. This is a game you haven't played before.
No.
But it's very easy.
Okay.
Very fun.
Very
Matt nailed it.
He did.
He
We
was-
had Matt on the show, and he did not answer a single question.
Nope.
Probably that was his goal.
It probably was, just to mess with us. But basically, we went on OkCupid, the dating site, and we got a bunch of random questions that they ask people when they're setting up their profile. And then we just take turns answering the questions.
Sounds great.
You want to go first?
Sure.
All right. We ready
Hit me.
with our timer?
Hit me.
I want to learn
That
about
shot
Anna.
made me
I want to learn about Anna. Do it.
Now I'm afraid.
We got some good ones for you. All right. Ready? And go. Do you think really abstract art, like just splattered paint, can be truly brilliant?
Yes.
Do you give it in easily when pressured?
No.
Of these 4 educational subject areas, which is your favorite? Language, mathematics, science, or history?
Language.
How ticklish are you?
Very.
Is it okay to be arrogant and snobbish if you know you're right?
No. Yeah. It depends.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
I don't
Yeah.
either. I mean, I feel like it depends on what you're being presented with.
I think it depends on how the other person's
Exactly,
attitude
like
is
what that-
towards
how
it.
If they're coming at you, yeah, then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
asshole, here's how it's gonna work. But there's no
like-
reason to just come out of the gate like that. Let's
Right.
chill.
It's like, oh, well, I have a PhD in, like,
Yeah.
so I think I might know what I'm talking about.
Like
here.
if you're like,
But
oh,
no.
it was Jim Carrey who played the mask in The Mask, and someone's like, no, it was Robin Williams, and you're like, no, it's Jim Carrey, and they're like, I know this movie better than you do, and I'd be like, all right, bitch.
Listen here,
Sit your ass down.
See, because I'm such an asshole too, I do the opposite where I'm like, you know what, I think you're right. It was Robin Williams. My bad. I'm sorry.
You
And I
should
just
go
let
tweet
them.
about that.
I let them go into.
Go tweet about it.
Yeah, but you let them go into the world knowing their ignorance, and you're like, have fun with that. Go talk to somebody else about Robin Williams in it.
Yep.
Idiot.
What's the one subject or like topic that you know you could argue and like be right about?
Font styles.
Styles? Interesting choice there, Lindsay Jones.
Saying I know fonts.
you and Matt should talk fonts.
Like matching, like
Fonts are sexy.
Like,
they're great.
oh,
Yeah, it's like
never
it's
thought
to
of
the
that
point
way.
where I'll
I like
drive
that
down the
wing
street.
dings.
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
I'll be driving with Michael and there'll be a billboard and I'm like, that's adventure font. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
It's like the worst superpower to have.
I am the shittiest X-Men. Congrats, Jubilee.
Yeah.
You one up me.
I think the only font I could identify is Comic Sans
Comic
or
Sans.
Sans, whatever it is.
Times
It
New
screams
Roman,
fun.
probably.
Yeah.
And wingdings.
Wingdings.
But isn't there like wingdings 1 through
Zappino?
3?
Yeah,
There is.
There are variants too.
Gotta know the different
And then you
shapes.
get the bold and the outer stroke, and oh my god, it just goes on forever.
Aren't you glad you're watching this show?
We're having a great time.
We've got to the part like in Parks and Rec when Ron is just like wickering a chair together. That's what this content is now.
Absolutely. So you're ticklish, huh?
Very, very ticklish.
Side to latch on to.
I remember that one. Because, like, I think I'm ticklish, but it's mostly, like, in the stomach region. Like, my feet, not
Oh
really.
no.
My feet are
My
super,
feet are
super
And, like,
super
my
ticklish.
underarm's not really ticklish.
Do you almost
Under the
kick
chin.
every
Every
person in
pedicure
the
I
foot?
have.
Yep. mhm.
Every pedicure I have.
When they do the buffering?
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
literally
just
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, Michael knows, and he takes advantage of it so much. He'll be like, "Hey, I love you. Hope you're having a good morning." I'm like, "Oh, that's sweet." You're cuddling me. He's like, "Gotcha," and they'll just hold my foot for like
Oh,
a minute
God.
doing this. I'm like,
see, here's, I always try to get Laura to give me foot rubs, and then she'll get like, I'm also really sensitive, so like even like the slightest touch, I'm like, oh, it hurts.
you're like me.
And so she's just like, you're too ticklish and
delicate
everything
flower.
hurts. Like, why should I even fucking bother?
Do you have instinct ow? Where like,
Oh my God,
someone
no,
won't hurt you?
Pavlovian ow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I do that all the
exactly what I
time.
have.
Same.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was this Reddit
Explain.
subthread on an Ask Reddit thread about like what do you have like a Pavlovian response to? So like something happens and you immediately like do your reaction. And I was like, anytime like if I stumble, even if it doesn't hurt, I'm completely fine. I was like, ow, ow, ow,
Yeah.
everything. Don't
Michael
touch me.
will
It'll
startle me and I'll say ow. He's like, I didn't touch you. I'm like, I know. You hurt my feelings, my emotions. We're startled.
I do these things where I apologize to inanimate objects if I walk into them.
Dude, same.
Oh, sorry. table.
Hey, they have feelings too.
Do you guys? I also have one where no matter who I'm on the phone with or if I'm Skype chatting with someone, I instinctively just wave. I'm like, they can't see me. It's goodbye now.
Yeah.
Person on the phone.
Bye.
Yep.
See you later. All right. Well, you ready, Lindsay?
Let's do it.
All right. Ready with our timer? And go. How often in conversation are you likely to use an exact quote from a movie, play, or TV show?
That's all my conversations. So
Yep. Would you consider dating someone who has extensive facial tattoos?
no,
Do you play any musical instruments?
I do several drums and clarinet.
Ooh. If you had a sexual fantasy that you know your partner's turned off by, would you bring it up anyway or keep it to yourself?
No, I'd bring it up anyway.
No
boundaries.
You play drums?
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, I did percussion for 4 years in high school.
Okay.
But then I just moved off to drum set by myself, and then I don't know, we did the thing where it's like, let's form a band, 3 friends. Like you kind of play guitar, you kind of play bass, and I kind of play drums. But yeah, I had a drum set in my room all through high school, middle
That is
school.
awesome.
I had
Same
no
here.
idea.
Yeah, man.
You
Play
too?
drums too?
Nice.
I wish
You want to start a drum band?
We should. We just sort of, one of the coolest things I ever saw.
Oh, it would be the Daft Punk of drums. That's perfect. Yes.
Done. One of the best things I ever saw was on the UT campus. I was just walking to class one day, and there was a drum circle, but it was all 80 and above.
That's amazing.
Oh my
It was,
God.
It was like they went to a senior citizen's home, took them all, dropped them on
Gave 'em drums.
campus, gave them some drums, and they were just
you go.
fucking losing it.
I love shit like that.
That is amazing.
That is awesome. I love to see people still doing fun stuff like that. There's a place in Montreal called the Tams, or Tam Tams, some people call it.
Nice.
Where every Sunday people go there and there's drum circles and people are having picnics and throwing frisbees and all this stuff. It's really cool.
That's badass.
Highly recommend it if you ever visit Montreal. Which
We will be.
be
Yeah, that's
there.
Michael's first time in Canada too, so you'll have to show him around.
I was just telling
Shows
Barbara, I've,
routine.
I've never been to Canada and I want to
I've never
go.
been to Canada either.
Eh?
I love Canada.
You've been to Canada
I
multiple
lived,
times.
my sister lives in Toronto.
She does. I
And,
remember.
and her husband. My sister and my brother-in-law. I love them both.
Just her.
They both live there.
She's the only one that matters.
I think I've been 3 times now. I mean, one time I was a little drunk, so I don't remember.
That was our
part of
first
it,
time,
but,
I think, at Fan Expo together.
There's a group called the Purple Helmet Crew, and they gave me a purple helmet, and I was wearing it around town, and I was
Needed it.
so I was really drunk, but having fun. But so imagine, if you will, this crowd of people surrounding a girl wearing a purple helmet who seems like she's kind of out of it. So they were like, "Oh, she's your special friend, isn't she?" And we're like, "Yeah, huh? We're taking care of her."
What's the purple helmet?
It's just a helmet.
They
that
gave me a helmet.
I think they wanted to protect her from hurting
Gave me a purple
herself.
helmet.
So it wasn't actually a crew?
No, I was the only one wearing the helmet. That's it. They were my posse. That's what they call themselves now. They'll tweet me, they're like, "Purple Helmet Crew." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, buddies?" Oh my
I literally envisioned
A bunch of people.
a bunch of people walking
Just
up
me.
in like a purple helmet, and they have an all purple outfit, and they're like, "This one, we need her." And they adopt her into the group.
No, it was a bunch of Rooster Teeth community members that we had to meet up with.
Yep.
And somehow at one point, Lindsay left. And I think someone had told me, they're like, "Oh, we have Lindsay with us. She's fine." And I'm like, "Okay," because I was left at the bar with
I
the
do remember
rest of
saying bye to
everybody.
you. I had the helmet on. I was like, "Bye, Barbara."
I was like, "Oh, Lindsay's okay."
Wait, I want.
You guys are gonna
pictures of
find
this.
poutine, I think.
Yeah, we did. It was a thing.
Did you find it?
We did find good poutine.
Can you find some late night poutine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing?
It is the drunk food.
The place we went to was like
also the
McDonald's for
hangover food.
poutine.
Oh, yes.
Basically.
I mean-
Yeah.
Greasy, cheesy,
Yeah.
everything.
Delish.
Potatoey, starchy.
Do you play any instruments?
I do.
What do
do you play?
I play piano.
I think I did know that because you guys have a piano.
We do. My mother gave. Well, when I say my mother gave me her piano, it sounds like she's gone, but she's not. I have my mother's piano. because
donated it to you.
Yeah, My mother was a pianist when I was a little one, and she has this beautiful piano, but she's started to get some arthritis and not playing it quite as easily as before. But she's not completely devoid of instruments. She kept her harpsichort, so that's cool.
Wow.
But
I know anyone who plays a harpsichord.
my mother.
Now I do.
Yes. She sent me the piano, and I have it, and I've been playing it. And Mills, our youngest son, is learning on it.
Are you teaching him?
Sweet, nice.
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, I sit and practice with him, but
Yeah, teaching is a whole nother level.
it's-
knowing an instrument.
yeah, it's hard. But this piano is really special to me because when I was really small, my mother would play and I would lie on the floor underneath her piano
That's
and
sweet.
like,
Nice.
just let it wash, through me.
beautiful.
And so this particular piano matters, and I'm really, really excited to have it.
It's beautiful. I've always wanted a piano,
It's
even just for the look of it.
Well, it's easy to learn.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was just saying to Matt today, like, because he was picked up the guitar and he was noodling around on,
Yeah,
and
he
I was
plays the
like,
guitar, I know
I
that,
go,
yeah.
like, Matt plays like 10 instruments. Yeah, but I was looking at him and go, I want to learn how to play guitar. It seems so much easier than piano. And he goes, oh, it is.
really,
Really?
really tabs. I've always felt tabs are way harder.
I mean, I took piano lessons. So I can play the drums and I can play the piano. And I took piano lessons all throughout. We're forming a band.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, let's
Done.
do it.
be our
I
group.
sing.
I
That
play
was
the
my,
drums?
my
You
primary
done?
instrument is my voice.
Yeah.
All right, Meryl.
Hit me.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Right around the timer? I'm just gonna say. And a go. What's the worst trait to have, greed or laziness?
Same.
Oh God.
You have 15 seconds.
I don't know.
Burn the clock. Burn the clock, Mariel.
Do you feel the urge to correct people who say stupid things?
Yeah, sometimes depending on.
Would you have sex with someone you hated?
Probably.
We've had that. Three questions.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I fucking
I've never seen a question that is broken.
my brain just didn't know.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was it?
Greed
What's
or
a worse
laziness.
trait to
What's
have?
the worst trait? What's worse? Greed or laziness?
I think I would rather be greedy than lazy.
Yeah.
Because greed could translate to ambition.
And success.
Yes.
But you could still be taught manners.
Yes. Laziness is very hard to break too. If someone's lazy,
Yeah.
it's like getting them motivated.
I'm
is the
with
hardest
Meryl
thing
though.
in
I'm
the world.
still like, I'm not sure.
I just
don't
like,
know.
because when I'm lazy, I just hate myself. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what am I doing?
but sometimes being lazy feels so good.
if you
allowing yourself
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But if that's
I
like,
agree.
if that's what you are all the
good.
time, lazy in work, lazy in your life.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I guess what would you rather be known to be, lazy or greedy? Although I guess that's the
I love-
exact same.
Yeah.
I love money. I'm all about being Mr. Krabs.
Nice. money. Well, thinking about like now, obviously, like everything I approach is like, as a mom, how do I think about this? It's like, dude, if you're a lazy mom, it's like you're kind of an asshole. Like people really have a negative connotation of that.
What
It's
is
like,
a greedy mom though?
I know.
Like,
Like
what does
I
that
don't
look
know.
like?
Someone who like cares
30
more about
kids.
herself than her kids.
Yeah,
maybe?
like that's also a huge negative connotation. I know women like that too.
Yeah.
I swear I care about Iris a lot. I'm
Yeah,
not a
you
greedy
do.
mom. Cool.
Maybe
So I guess I'm a
you're
lazy
greedy for
mom.
Iris's
There you go, yeah. Yeah.
Irene, what's her name?
God. My mom thought her name was Isis for a few weeks. I'm like,
my God.
Mom, it's Iris. You got
I met
this.
someone named Isis the other day, and I'm like,
Isis is
know
an
Isis.
Egyptian goddess, but
Yeah,
the name
it's
has
a
been fucked.
perfectly beautiful.
So,
It is
yeah.
like-
perfectly beautiful
We should take
name.
it back.
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
the negative
reclaim it.
connotation, it was
Taking it back.
It's a beautiful name.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We should take it back.
Reclaim it. Yeah.
There are women out there named Isis who probably need a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
They probably
We
go
love
by
you.
the
Yeah.
nickname. I
Weird.
always
I do love you.
We love
yes.
you.
Yeah, we were
Your names
excited.
are hard,
get
and you
it.
didn't, pick it, and you didn't know about
Dude,
the context.
she's a badass goddess.
Yeah.
She's like HBIC, so that's awesome.
It's true.
There's a band that actually was named Isis, and they changed their name. So,
Really? Well, they had to do the
I
whole
don't
thing
blame
with
them. It's-
Archer. They changed ISIS,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
for that reason. Yeah.
Change them all to Bastet.
Yes, excellent.
Hi,
I like
Barbara.
you. We'll talk
me.
later.
You ready? All right. We ready with the timer? Good. And go. How often do you or would you call in sick to work or school when you are not actually ill?
A couple times.
Oh. Do you believe reason is more important than emotions in solving problems?
Yes.
Would you develop a new hobby or cultivate a new interest just to have something in common with your partner?
Yes.
How do you feel about being gagged during sex?
I don't know. I don't think I like that. What are you trying to?
I didn't make it up. I'm not trying to gather like
Did
my
like
own
your stutter though? Yeah, you're like
I'm not trying to gather my own fucking personal research.
your
here.
trepidation was beautiful.
No seemed trepidatious.
Ugh. Go back to this one. Explore further.
No, definitely no gagging for me.
Yeah.
A little light
Well, like a well,
hand on the neck. Sure.
You get
No,
that hand.
yeah, I don't want
fuck
anything
away
in there.
from
Yeah.
get
I have bad gag reflexes, so
That's
gag is not good. But the whole would you develop a new hobby or cultivate a new interest to have something in common with someone, a new partner?
Totally.
I don't think that's a thing that people are like, oh, you should be yourself and not change yourself for someone. But there's nothing wrong with, oh, this person is interested in painting, so I'll try that with them and see if this is something I like. There's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like the key word there is cultivate.
Yes. Absolutely.
Exploring new venues. I
Right,
mean, there's a point where you're just now stubborn if you're really not willing to be adventurous or try and indulge in some of your partner's likes.
Right, if your partner's interested in something and you've never spent any time on it and don't have a feeling about it.
A-okay if you try it and you hate it, no problem. But give it a shot. Come on.
Totally.
Absolutely. I agree.
Concur.
I'm glad that we all concur. Well, thanks, guys. That was fun. We're going to move on to our first ad read of the show. You want me to take it or you want to take it?
Whatever you want to do, Babs.
Me and Meryl are going to tag team this time.
Yeah, we are.
Why don't you take this one?
All right.
Because I know you like this service quite a lot.
Her
I
nickname
do.
is Babs. What's your nickname?
Mers.
Merce?
Merle.
Merle.
I like Merle. But I like Walking Dead, so, you're my mom.
All right, you ready?
Good character.
Ready? On me. Pay attention.
On this,
It's gonna be a good one.
on this baby girl.
This episode of Always Open is brought to you by HelloFresh. We've teamed up with HelloFresh and they are offering everyone in our audience, including everyone here, $30 off your first week of deliveries when you go to HelloFresh.com and use the offer code OPEN30.
Goodness.
I wrote this for you, so it says Mariel and I. So I'm just talking about me here. Barbara and I absolutely love HelloFresh. It's delivered right to your door in an insulated, recyclable package. You won't spend all night in the kitchen because recipes only take around 30 minutes. There's lots of one-pot recipes for seriously speedy cooking and minimal cleanup. Each box is made up of fresh, responsibly obtained ingredients from carefully selected farms and high-rated, trusted sources. I love HelloFresh. I rave about it all the time.
Yeah,
it's
you
super
do.
easy. We work all the time, and so it's kind of hard to go grocery shopping and do all these things. So you get a beautiful box sent right to your door. You take it out. There's all your meals ready to go. And I love to cook too, and it's super easy because it has all your things. You can pull out your recipe card, look at it. The one I cooked recently was a balsamic glazed strip steak.
I cooked that one too. It was delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
It's like the classic meat and potatoes, right? But it's revamped and it's beautiful and it's delicious. So HelloFresh makes it easy to cook delicious, balanced, filling dinners for less than $10 a meal and free shipping. You can look forward to your weekly HelloFresh box delivery knowing dinner just got easier, and you can enjoy not having to plan dinner, spend money on takeout, or worry about gathering all the ingredients. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN30 to get $30 off your first week of deliveries. That's HelloFresh.com and code OPEN30.
Open30.
Open30. Do it. Seriously, it is so good. All of the meals are super yummy and delicious and easy. They're super easy to do.
Yeah.
We use it too.
Yeah. HelloFresh
I like
is great.
that. My favorite thing is the lack of food waste.
Yes.
That's the thing, yeah. That's
Yes.
the thing I have the most trouble with being someone who lives alone.
Yeah.
I always want to cook meals and make things, and then I'll buy okay, I need onion for this, so I'll buy a whole onion, even though I only need a few pieces of chopped onion, and then I have all this onion that I'm not using.
I never have trouble getting through onions. Onions and garlic.
Onions garlic.
I guess, yeah, you use it in sauces and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Always need more garlic.
Always. If you don't double the garlic in whatever the
triple.
recipe is,
My
I
God.
mean, at least, then we can't be friends.
Duly noted. If I ever cook for you,
Garlic the best.
I won't know. I don't know what your recipe was. Maybe you did double it.
maybe I did unintentionally.
There you go.
I'm sometimes bad at reading instructions. But it's hard to mess up with this one.
Yep.
Because they give you exactly what you need. All right, well, let's move on to our first discussion segment of the day. So because it's Mother's Day and we want to celebrate mothers and motherhood,
Mothers.
and we have two lovely mothers on our show with
We got
us.
moms.
And Mariel.
Lovely motherfucker. Sorry,
Congratulations
I couldn't
to
help
Michael.
myself. Is that the OK Cupid question or
You have moms.
Do you? Yeah.
So
answer? Yeah.
That was so slurpy.
we kind of have a two-part question. You could answer one of them or both of them if you want.
Or none of them.
Or none of them if you don't really have an answer. But
Stare at each other for 10 minutes.
we would like to know what's the best part of parenthood, and then what's the hardest part of parenthood?
Woof.
Those are big questions.
They are,
Yes.
yeah. They're kind of very
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I know I only have a year of experience here too, so.
Well, but
know.
what you've got is really the intense,
Yeah, it's also like very different.
The starter
perspectives, though.
set
Well,
is
so we
so
can talk
hard.
about too. Is like I've had mixed reviews from parents where like half of them will say like, oh, just get through this part. Like the first year is the worst, and after that it's okay. And then I am of the opinion of the other parents I've talked to that's like, dude, enjoy this because once they're teenagers, you're fucked.
No, but enjoy it all. That's my. There has not been a phase that hasn't been wonderful in some way or another, and like of course there's bullshit and hard stuff along the
life.
way, you know. But I love, and maybe this is the best part, is watching them emerge into human, you know,
Like become their own
people that
people.
have opinions and aspirations and dreams, and you have no clue
Yeah, absolutely.
what you're gonna get. And
Well, even you say merging into yourself, it's like, yeah, clearly she hasn't formed opinions yet. She can't talk. But you can see bits of her personality coming out. And that's one of the coolest things. We're like,
From
wow,
the-
you learn that. And like, I know that you like this and you don't like that. You're forming opinions. You can't express them yet, but they're there. That's so cool.
it's magic.
Yeah.
It really is magic. I think maybe the best part is like making, you know, people that are going to add something to the world.
Yeah,
which
hopefully.
is- Hopefully. Well, you know, they're going to add something. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Reading or lazy.
I know. I feel like you're of the same opinion because I know you, and you're very openly feminist, and you're progressive in a lot of your ideologies.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited that I'm bringing up Iris in a world where she has more opportunities than even someone like myself had as a woman, especially growing up in a place like Dallas. For those who know what people are like there. So I was talking to someone recently, and they're like, "Oh, are you worried? Like, you know, as a girl, she's gonna encounter challenges." I'm like, yeah, she will inevitably, and yes, there are very clearly challenges that are skewed female as opposed to male. But like, oh my God, like, do you know how much we've overcome just in my lifetime?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for her
Yeah.
to like jump
Yeah.
into everything. So
No,
I'm good.
she's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, same with like Webb and Mills. It's been interesting talking to them. It seems like they're also very conscious of stuff like that too.
They are. They're. This sounds like really, I don't know, something. But one of the things that I've thought about with raising children is my goal in raising children, and my goal, kind of loosely stated, is that I am hoping to raise people who are citizens of the world that, you know, I wish we lived in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's my gift to the world. Is, you know, these children are they are pretty conscious. You know, they're pretty aware. And
I like how you guys also like take them to like rallies and marches and stuff like this, where they could learn about these different viewpoints and everything like that, and like these things where you don't see a lot of kids or young
Right.
people at, like the Women's March, for example.
yeah, they
and
were
you-
so cute there.
Yeah, and just like when I see like you and Matt doing stuff like that, it makes me, I'm like, these kids are the best, and they're
Just
gonna be-
opening up the discussion itself, I
It's
think, is
the
so important. And I've
it's the
literally
discussion.
watched you go, like, the best thing I think of is, like, I've seen parents do this before, and I'm trying actively to not do that, where you go, hey, I feel this, kid. Here's how I think, and that's it. Done. It's like, I would much rather go, what do you think? Why
Right.
don't you form opinions and, like, throw them at me, and we'll bounce off of each other. And I've seen you do that, especially with Webb. You're like, oh, what's going on, buddy? Like, what's bothering you? And then he'll engage the conversation, you back and forth, and that grows. Like, it feels like you guys are growing together as opposed to you just kind of delegating.
Yeah, and they definitely opened my eyes to other perspectives. I was sort of flabbergasted when I found out I was having a boy with the first
Yeah.
one, because I am the middle child of 3 girls.
Oh, yeah. All
And,
girls in my family, too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just expected that I would also have girls. I just thought that was be like.
I think it runs in the family. But you were talking
don't-
just before the show how you
Matt's family had a boy.
all guys in your family. You have 2 boys. You have Matt.
Oh
and you
yeah,
have
I'm
male cats.
and 2 boys. I'm totally outnumbered in my house. Penises
No.
everywhere.
You're not looking at it properly. You're the queen.
Oh, I am.
You understand that you have a monopoly on that.
It's
true.
You are
Queen Anna.
Khaleesi.
No, I love them all. It's all wonderful. But it's been an interesting. You know, at first I was sort of astonished that I was going to have a boy, and then I was like, oh wait, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be an adventure, because I don't know. I'd never spent time around little boys, and I have now spent a lot of time around little boys, and it's a delight.
Sure, you've heard tons of fun things.
Oh,
yeah.
so many penis stories. I can tell you.
That was me with my nephews when I married Michael. I was like, okay, I'm inheriting like 3 nephews now. One is now 10, 7, and 2. I'm like, yeah, same thing. We've heard some stories. I'm like, this is a new situation I'm in now. Okay,
It's great, though.
changing the diaper of this 2-year-old boy. Please don't pee on me. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's a thing.
This little fire hose where it's gonna go.
I probably told this story before, but my nephew, he got into a phase when he was like 2 that he would just like pull his pants down and be like, "What is it?"
Yep. Dude, all boys do that.
What does it
Absolutely.
do?
They do.
Texas,
Yeah.
did you ever do that as a small boy?
I still do. I still do. What is it? Very excited every time I see it.
Can
Understandable.
say.
It's still there.
Oh, God.
Thank you, my
Yep, my nephews like that too, especially at a lot of parties that we had. That was the
yeah.
showcase. Oh, let me take my pants down.
That
We're
was
like,
a talent show.
yeah. Here you go, guys.
I think my family thought like they thought I didn't buy my children pants for the longest time because I would take pictures of them around the house, like playing with toys or whatever, and they're always in like underwear or a diaper or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're really small, and I'm like, I buy them pants. I just
Yeah.
can't keep them on. Like,
Don't
It
wanna
takes
wear
some
them.
solace knowing that I was totally that kid. Like from age like 2 to 4, I would just streak.
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
I
no.
think every kid
Yeah.
did.
Kids like to be naked.
Yeah,
and it's
man.
okay. It's
There's
good.
There's a
it's
video
good
of
stuff.
me on I think it was my 2nd or 3rd birthday, where I'm opening presents and someone gets me a dress. And I literally am like, I'm gonna put it on, and I just like take it off in front of there's like 30 family members.
Like,
and I just get
whatever.
naked and put the new dress on because I wanted to wear it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I bet whoever got you that dress was like, "Fuck yeah."
I will say,
She
Love
loves
that
it.
much.
I
Yep.
will say both of my children have outgrown this. Just so you know.
Okay.
Hey, Anna,
well clothed.
I have not outgrown that phase.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry.
Well, they've
Still working on it.
outgrown it with, their families.
Yeah. Well, now it just
They're
translates to
11 and
where-
13
Oh,
now,
okay.
so it's like,
They're at that age,
we're
yeah.
at a place where it's,
Just keep it contained, and then when you get home from work, you go, woo,
Yep.
done.
Was moving into the double digits hard?
it was startling. It was startling. Yeah.
realize
It
you
wasn't
had a-
really, it was really hard. Ages and number, like that stuff has never bothered me, but it was weird when Webb turned 10 and I'm looking at him and I'm going, you're a decade old? Like, what
Had
is...
you for 10 years?
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
A teenager.
No, he's 13 now. like-
Reflecting. Oh God.
Yeah, I know. So you have 13, and how old was
11.
11. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
What's been like the hardest part so far in the 1 year or the 13 years, I guess?
Oh boy.
I got 2 answers.
I guess like the hardest part for me is like one coming off of giving birth was like dealing with just the hormones. and,
Yeah.
Like, what is life? Why are we here? What is human existence? I'm like sobbing into her
Wonder why
face.
yeah. Wonder why we're here.
Michael was like, "You're gonna give her a complex." Stop. I'm like, "I love her so much." I'm sorry. But
Oh, the emotional roller coaster. is-
yeah, other than that, really, it's just like existential stuff. But it's true. It's like I am now at the point where I think about things like what's gonna happen when I have to discuss issues in the world of like what is war, what is like sexual assault, what is stuff like this, and things that are horrible but exist, and I have to discuss them with you. I'm like, dude, that's really gonna suck, but it's
That
a
part gets
necessity.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you raise her with dialogue, then it gets easier to talk. Just you'll get used to it by the time you get
Yeah.
to the big stuff.
Yeah. I've
Good.
always appreciated parents who don't talk to their kids like kids.
Yes.
They just
Yes.
talk to them like people. And like
Dude,
I-
Jeff and Griffin are
Jeff
great
and
at
Griffin,
that.
yeah.
And that's why Millie's like 13 going on literally 30.
Yeah.
That's her life is that movie. So yeah, it's a good one.
So my 2 answers. First one would be the earliest phases of life is the hardest part is sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
We got lucky. Iris let us sleep 3 weeks in. She's sleeping
That
throughout the
is
night.
so
Yeah, she's a
amazing.
miracle child.
That is
I don't know.
amazing. I'm so
She's
happy
like
for
a
you.
like daughter, right?
Yeah, basically. Michael's like, oh, you take after her? I'm like, all right, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Go back to the lazy versus greedy. I'm lazy. I know. I get it. Okay, thank you.
You're kind of like me, where it's like if you sit down on the couch to watch something, it's like I'm out. Like
Yeah,
if I
good
have
night.
a blanket too.
Oh, I'm so
Oh, yeah.
jealous of that. Our friend Dodger just had her baby.
Yeah.
And her husband Sam tweeted he was like, wow, when they say that you don't sleep, you really don't sleep.
Yeah.
Like they're really keeping you up all night.
Really, really.
Yes.
I had a story I've told probably all of y'all at different sometime or another, but when Mills was born and Webb was 2.5 years old, and so he was already waking up a few times a night. So you you just never sleep again the same way. Like even once your kids are super, super sleepy, there's some part of your brain that's on,
Yeah.
like listening for something, waiting for something.
That's the great description. I couldn't place it, but it's like you have kid indicator. There's always like,
You
where
got a
are they?
spidey
What's
sense,
happening?
you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah. It's true.
But so I think you maybe you get it back someday. Like
I don't
the kids
think
are in
so.
college, or
I
no?
don't think so. No. Well, my mom's obsessed with me, so that's probably why. But if I'm out or whatever, my mom's always like, "Hey, like, how late were you out last night? Like, what? I just like couldn't sleep, and I figured you were probably out doing something." And I was like, "Bitch, how'd you know?
It's
You
a sense.
bitch."
She knows.
God.
But yeah, no, college. Even
It's
now, I'm
hard.
26 years
It's
old,
so
and she
hard.
still worries about me every night.
Well, that's
yeah.
the other part. That's the other worst. The worst
Worry.
part. The other worst part is it's not so much the worry.
Hardest.
It's teaching. Hardest. Thank you. Not worst. Although it's
I
bad.
know what you mean, yeah.
It's bad though. It's not
Most
easy. It's not
difficult.
good.
Yes.
Is the part where you have to teach yourself to accept that there are risks that your kids are
Yeah.
going to assume.
Yep.
Just out in the world, and you have to be okay with that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that is really, really hard. I mean,
Especially, I don't know, were you really close with your mom in a sense that like you would constantly check in on her and make sure she's okay?
Yes.
Because in college, I was the asshole who didn't call my mom enough, like, and I still hate it to this day, and she gives me shit, rightfully so. And now my comeuppance are coming, where Iris is gonna not call me, and I'll be like, "Where? I thought you were dead. Like, why didn't you call me?"
Yeah.
So
There's
I'm
that-
bracing for that.
Totally. There's an A.A. Milne poem that's called, I don't remember the name of it, but it's James Morrison, Weatherby George Dupree. And like one of the things he says to his mother is, "You must never go down to the end of the town without consulting me."
Noted.
And that was me as a kid. Like I was totally checking in on my mom all the time.
The
That's
opposite
incredible.
way. Yeah, there was a friend of mine had a baby about a year ago, a little under a year ago, and she described it in a way where she's like, you never think you could love someone as much as like when you like love someone you just met as much as you do. Like the second it's born,
true.
it's like, I don't think I've ever loved anything this much, and I
Yeah.
literally just met this thing.
And people point out, they're like, it's just science. It's your hormonal reactions. Like, okay, yeah, I agree completely. But
Shut
do you
up.
not think that, I would say, do you not think that that's amazing and fascinating that we
Yes.
as creatures can still have those chemical reactions to something that just like
Yeah.
came out of us?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
And don't discount the fact that some people don't have those chemical
yeah,
reactions.
yeah, it's
So
true. Yeah,
not-
and they still are fantastic parents. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
cool, awesome.
Absolutely. There's very different reactions.
It's true. Well, maybe
Yeah.
when you get your kids to be older and they start wearing underwear, they can wear a MeUndies.
No jokes on you.
Avocado.
I'm wearing some MeUndies right now, baby. Yeah. Thanks.
You've heard me talk about MeUndies, and you know I'm a big believer in their product. They're the perfect balance of comfortable fit. Every month they have new and exciting prints like the avocados. And they arrive at your door in a fun bag, nonetheless.
You think the underwear is fun? Wait for the bag.
Oh, wait for the bag. They're both fun. Let me see these. I don't have these yet, but I think I have like at least 20 pairs or so.
Oh,
and they're
God.
all
I have a good number of
different.
pairs.
They're
Yeah.
the best.
I like the avocados.
Me too.
You know what?
They're
yours.
cute.
Yeah.
Would you like
Ooh,
some? They're clean, right? They're brand new.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a washing machine.
God.
Brand new. MeUndies,
Fabulous.
they use lensing micromodal modal
Wow.
in their underwear. It's a sustainably sourced, naturally soft fiber that starts with beechwood trees and ends with the most amazing fabric you've ever experienced. 100% satisfaction guarantee. MeUndies guarantees you will love their undies or your money back, girl. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase any MeUndies, you get 20% off and free shipping. That means you'll get that fun bag.
Yeah. Fun bag.
MeUndies is so sure you'll love their underwear, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you get a full refund. This is a no-brainer. Get 20% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. To get your 20% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/open. That's MeUndies.com/open. So many numbers in that. I know. I'm like, 20% off, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
I love it. I love MeUndies though. They have I have some pants that I got from them that are the best. They're like sweatpants.
Yeah. They
The
do
other day, I went-
pants and shirts. and-
Yeah, and I was looking down and I was like, I got MeUndies on, and then I got my MeUndies pants.
Yeah.
MeUndies here.
Best for me is MeUndies can work for work, but also I'm trying to work out more, so I need like durable underwear to do so. And like MeUndies, gotcha.
Solid.
Got you covered.
It's true.
Solid,
I
solid.
got it all. It's the most comfortable.
It is. It really is.
All right. Our next segment. This is one we could all participate in, even though we're not mothers.
Join us.
Surely you have mothers.
We do.
Barbara's kind of like my mom at conventions where
It's
I'm like,
true.
what's happening? She's like, I got you, girl. You're good. Quiet. Hush, child.
Just follow me. This is an interesting one. What is the best lesson your mother ever taught you? Your mother, your mama.
Woof.
For me, I don't think I could pinpoint it to one lesson in particular. And Mom, I know you're watching this and I love you. Hello. For me, it's the concept and idea that women could do and be anything.
Yeah.
And I think that it is such an important lesson to teach, especially your daughters, but like all your kids when you're growing up. My grandmother was a teacher, and she was like the first in her whole like family to go to college, like the first woman in her family to go to college and become a teacher.
That's wonderful.
And then like my mom had her own career and was very strong and independent, and every woman in my family basically is like that. But my mom taught me from a very young age, like, you could do whatever you want. And she was always very supportive of anything I wanted to try, whether it was sports or different classes or anything like that. Always supportive of me. And I think that goes a long way, because I think if you're not really taught that from a young age, you kind of get shoehorned into this image of what a woman should be or do, stay-at-home mom, or like, not that that's a bad thing, but like that you can't necessarily go beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, the baseline message there is choice, I think.
Right.
And yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree with my mom. Same thing. Is she was trying to become a dentist in the 90s, and she was literally told by someone, like, you know, you're taking a man's job, right? And I was like,
my
cool.
God.
That's fucking
Oh
right.
my God.
Yeah, and then, like straight up, that's what she said. She was like, listen, my husband might stay home and take care of the kids, and I'll go to work. And like, she was laughed at, but that's what happened. My dad stayed home. He took off of his job. He goes, I'll quit. I will take care of the kids. You go to work and do what you do.
Go
and
your
you know,
dad.
yeah, I was like, cool, awesome, go for it. But for me, that was a huge indicator of like, same thing. Women can do whatever they want. It really doesn't matter what your choices are. The fact is that you have the choice. So don't let anyone tell you you can't pursue this career or you can't do this. That's not the case.
I think my mother demonstrated that for me. Because my mother wanted to be a lawyer long before, you know, she was married, but didn't. She was actually studying 17th century harpsichord in Italy when she met my dad.
Badass.
And
That is the coolest
Right? Yeah.
thing ever.
Hair toss.
What?
I'm amazing.
Studying.
she decided not to finish that degree. She went to work for a lawyer when she was living in Rome and like loved it, and that was. But then she got married, and then she had 3 children, and the first one needed a lot more care than, you know, children do on average, and that became the track of her life. Was, you know, and that wasn't ever her intention. Not, you know, she had no problem with it, but I mean, she felt she was doing important, you know, work. But once my parents were divorced, which was when I was 9, my mother like just she was like, well, okay, so that happened, and the kids are like kind of, you know, at an age where they can fend for themselves a little better. And she went to law school and, you know, finished her degree, and then she has had a whole career. And
you also
she's
went to law
amazing.
school, right?
I did. Yeah. I also went to law school. But so my parents were interesting in that way. But my mother really, I think she demonstrated for me. And we also have the example of my grandmother, whose husband died when she was in her early 40s. My mother was in college, and Granny, her father hadn't believed in sending girls to college, and he had 2 daughters, and they were 10 years apart, and Granny was the older one. Her younger sister got to go to college because by the time my great aunt got there, you know, times had changed enough. So, but Granny had typing school education, and her husband died, and she was sort of left with 4 children, and what do I do? And she went to college. She got her bachelor's, and then she got her master's in early childhood education, and then she became a teacher, and she was actually my teacher in 5th grade, which was not good. You don't want to be your grandmother's student.
I was like, maybe
What did you call her? Could you call her? Did you call
I called her Granny because there was
Granny? Nice.
I wasn't going to call her anything else.
Mrs. Granny?
Yeah, no, she was really hard on me in school.
Yeah.
To the point where some of my friends were like, why are
Yeah.
you so hard on Anna?
Knowing my grandmother, I was like, I don't think I'd want to have her as a
Yeah,
teacher.
no.
It depends.
I was coach's daughter for long enough. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
She was
good.
She was amazing though. My grandmother was amazing, and I'm so happy that like I got to be friends with her as an adult. You know, before we lost her, but like
Yeah.
that was really special to me.
Not a lot of people get to experience that.
So I've had two like massively strong female role models in my life, which is really.
And that's why you're such a strong female role
Exactly.
model.
I don't know.
Good, being raised well. such a part of it.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's crazy how that happens.
Were you about to say something? Sorry.
I was just thinking of my grandmas as teachers. One of them I'd be terrified of. The other one, we wouldn't get anything done.
like,
Yeah.
Want to snuggle all the time.
I know. My nanny was sassy. My grandma was very like a little more antiquated. It was actually funny when my mom wanted to pursue a career in dentistry. My grandma was the one who was like, "No, you shouldn't do that. It's not a good idea for women. Women should do this." Oh, really? But my grandfather was the one who was like, "You go for it." Like it's kind of a weird dynamic because my grandfather literally like lived the life of Mad Men, the show. Like that was his career in New York City. He would drive into the city every morning or take the train, and then he would go out lunch breaks with these like high-end clients, and he would have martinis for 2 hours, and they'd be smoking cigars like crazy. So you would think, okay, probably a misogynistic asshole. No, he was like pretty hardcore of like, you do what you want to do, girl. And I was like, awesome, thanks, Grandpa Charlie, cool. So I don't know, it's kind of weird how
That's
that works
very
out, I
cool.
guess.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought of a thing that my mother taught me.
What'd she
That
taught you?
my mother taught me.
I just said what she taught you.
What she taught me. What she taught you? She taught me the concept of catliness. Catliness. Well, you're gonna like it.
Lindsay's like,
think
you
you
have
had
my
your
attention.
I think you're gonna like it.
I'm into it.
So we had cats growing up. We always had kitties. Well, not always, but starting about 7 is when I got my first kitties. But our family was a fan of cats, and this is post-divorce. But we would watch our kitties, and they would exhibit really desirable qualities, like they're independent, they're self-sufficient, they don't necessarily need constantly. They are very clean. They bathe them. They
do.
take care of themselves, and they always land on their feet. And my mother, somehow that became a code for us, of a code of independence and self-sufficiency. And
Attitude, if you will.
when she would send us off somewhere, like camp or whatever, what she would say, instead of like filling us with all the worries that a mom has, like the don't do this, don't be careful, don't blah blah. What she would say to us was, be catly.
Nice.
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Like a cat.
Catliness.
Don't be like a dog. Don't go up
Fierce.
to anyone.
That's right. That's right.
Friend strangers.
You can kick a dog and they come back. It's not good.
Oh.
I would never kick a dog. Just
Just clarifying.
to clarify. Just to clarify.
No, you never know what people will pick up on. So that's
true,
good
that's
to
true.
clarify.
I love dogs. They're great. I like
All
cats
animals.
more. Cats are
Animals
better.
all great.
It's interesting because
I
my
just started a war there.
They're both beautiful.
They're wonderful. They're both wonderful creatures.
dogs are better. I'm saying it here.
I'm on that.
No, what about the cats that act like dogs, like Maine Coons? They'll fetch and stuff.
They are fun.
Yeah.
Girl,
Savannah
you
stuff.
my Maine
Fluffy.
Coon.
I have a cat that walks around with a ball in his mouth, and I'm always like, "Did you break?"
What are you doing?
I knew a cat that played fetch one time. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
I know plenty of cats like that.
Cute.
Go on
Sorry.
walks and whatnot.
I-
When you were saying, my mom has a very similar story that I've always kept in mind, was that she was in college, met my dad, dropped out, had a family, and it wasn't until after I was born that she saw me and was like, oh shit, like I gotta do something for this one. Like we got a bunch of boys in the house. So
all
she went back
older,
to
right?
school. Yeah, my brothers are 4 and 8 years older than me.
Gotcha.
So she went back to school with a full family and 3 young kids, and like would drive 2 hours to school and back every day. And so it was always like when I was in college trying to get my film degree, and I was like, oh, this is so hard. And she's like, no, it's fucking not. I don't got 3 kids. I don't got a husband. This shit's easy. I can do anything. If she can do that, I can do anything,
It's very true.
So it was just like a
Moms go hardcore.
Yeah, I feel
do
you.
go hardcore.
They go hardcore.
Yeah. Same thing with my mom. She was in dental school when her wedding happened, and because she had no money, she was like, I made my own gown. I made all my bridesmaid dresses, and I planned my entire wedding. I'm like, Like
Your
how?
mother made her gown?
Yeah.
My God.
Did she make her veil?
Yes, and that's what. So Anna helped me make my veil for my wedding too. I wanted to take a piece of it and use it with a headband that I had. So I went over to Anna's house and she helped me sew. But my mom, had made
beautiful.
that
Yeah.
It
originally.
was so pretty, but I didn't know your mother made it first. That's awesome.
Can we use a photo of it?
Oh, yeah,
This?
sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably find a
picture.
photo here.
I'll find it.
Gorgeous. So beautiful.
Goodness. But yes, that was wonderful. Thank you for helping me.
Oh, no,
Appreciate it.
It was an honor.
Sorry.
It's interesting getting older because I am the youngest and I'm the only girl, but my parents will come to me for a lot of things, and they won't tell my brothers, or they won't they'll come and consult me, and they're like, oh, we're not gonna talk to you. Your brothers are indifferent, and for some reason I guess I seem to have opinion on everything. And so
Yeah, every mom, I think, especially all of our moms, probably have, similar tendencies just from being in a certain generation and raising
Yeah.
us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I agree.
as kids.
Oh yeah. And we, I'm sure you guys
were
are
a
like me.
handful.
Yeah. It's like I did.
I know I was.
There are some things that did not make my mom's job easy. I'm
Me
sorry.
from 12 to 16, maybe even a little older than that, I was nasty.
Yeah.
I was not a nice kid.
It was 2 to 10 for me.
I still get there. I
Yeah.
still get there when go home for Christmas and I'm living in my mother's house for 4 days and I'm 14 again. I'm stomping out of the room.
Yeah, throwing tantrums.
Huff, you know?
And it's totally normal. Did
you guys have any
If you
clash?
don't fight with your mom, it's not a normal relationship.
God,
yeah.
Now, I know you went to college, and I guess we all went to college.
Yeah.
But did you guys also have the weird clash when you came home from college and they were like, okay, we're your parents. Now you got to obey the rules again. You're like, no, I'm an adult now. I'm in college, actually.
I'm grown.
So,
I'm
yeah.
grown, bitch.
I didn't have that.
I'll be out till 2.
I don't really
all right?
get they try to dictate what I do, but it's still especially my dad, I find does this where he cares. I mean, they both care so much about me, but my dad very, very much is like, where are you going tonight? Who are you seeing? When will you be back? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm going out with my friends. I'll be back when I'm back.
I didn't have that.
Oh, yeah?
My parents, usually when I say my parents, I mean my mom and my stepdad, but they were very liberal with me in the, I didn't have a curfew, but I was really good at calling and saying when I'd be home, and then I would make sure to be there.
See, I was
and-
not, so that's probably why I had a curfew.
Yeah. But so after college,
Lindsay's the bad
If anything,
Sorry.
my parents were like, can you please leave the house?
Nerd.
Friend?
Get a social life.
No, every time I go home, they're like, you don't want to call up a friend? I'm like, nah, man, I just want to lay on the couch.
no joke, right? I know. Well, and with my
fuck
parents,
anyone.
it was easy for them because Matt and I've been together since high school.
Yeah.
So, when I'd come home from school and that's where I would go, or he'd be at our house, we'd just be hanging out. They didn't have to
You guys are
wonder.
so cute.
High
High school sweethearts.
Nice.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
It's like, meanwhile, I'm like, I'm in Laredo, and like, when the fuck did you go to Laredo? I'm like, I'll be back in 10 hours.
About Gene.
Listen,
Nah, but Gene's
Gene.
real, man.
Gene
Real
will throw
respect,
down.
real. You know Gene and
I love your parents.
know
Lindsay's
your
parents are
parents
so
are
great.
so
When
good.
there are
thanks.
some
So good.
conventions we've been to where it was in Dallas or somewhere close to them, and they came up for it. And it's so cute. Lindsay's mom is all decked out in Ruby
God.
merchandise and stuff like that. And
She turns into super Ruby. Like if Ruby was a superhero, that's her.
amazing.
Like,
yeah,
and I love it.
leggings on and the t-shirt.
And
everything.
bless her, I know she hasn't watched all the episodes because I don't expect her to. She's a working woman, but she's like, I just love it so much. I'm so proud of you. I'm like, Mom, thank you. I love you.
It's very cute.
Your mom's
Yes.
Good old
the
Gene.
sweetest. I love
Yeah.
your
You know,
mom.
if I was going to die by
your mom,
anyone's
too.
hand.
Jean?
Mom's gonna
Okay,
be
I'll
Jean.
tell her.
Yeah.
She remembers. She's like, how's Mariel?
She
I'm
better
like,
remember.
she's
Mortal
still wants
enemies.
that prize. That's how she is.
You were there.
Yeah. Every
remember that?
RTX, I always
If we have a second kid, I'm fucked. I'll be like, oh my God, there's another baby
We
shower.
bring this up every time Lindsay's on the show, but Gene and I. It's hard to watch this show. Watch
Like,
this
Mom,
episode from Gene.
I know you
she's
don't watch
coming
my
for you.
content, but you got to check out Always Open. Mariel called you out.
Challenge Gene RTX 2018.
Yeah. It's so
God
funny.
damn.
Every year, my parents come to RTX every year, and my mom loves doing the thing where she'll start talking to fellow community members in line and stuff. She's so cute in that way where
So
she just
cute.
starts making conversation, and I think she just loves the fact that she whenever she's like, oh yeah, we're Barb's parents, people get really excited
yeah.
and want to take a picture with them. So after every RTX, I see so many pictures of people taking photos with my parents.
Your parents are infamous now too. It's like you're the Dunkelmans.
Yeah,
Like, oh my God.
Dunkelmania.
Yeah, huh?
Dunkelmania's real. I'm hoping my parents can come experience RTX for the first time
Yeah,
this year.
and every time I use the app, I go, oh, Larry.
I
You did. You son of a
my
bitch.
brother's having his first child around the same weekend, and he's in San Antonio. So I'm hoping they'll come for that, and I can snag them for a day.
Yes, you should. Did you answer the question of what the best lesson your mom taught you?
I'm kind of hand in hand with you. It's like, honestly, like, don't let your gender stop you, especially with all the gender roles and norms that are here. And like, you guys know me, I've always been very much a tomboy. So growing up, like, my sister's the fashionista, I'm the tomboy. So even that was good enough for me to know, like, there's not one definition for what a woman should be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to conform to someone who wears makeup all the time or looks fancy. Like, this was all Texas. This ain't me, buddy. I rolled up all sweaty and was like, please fix this. Thank you. But that's, that's fine. I got other stuff to worry about.
Yeah.
So.
You do.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson.
Right.
Cool. Well, before we move on to our final segment, which is our boy box of issues,
Yeah, boy.
I'll do this one.
I'll read it if you,
You want to do it?
I
Tell us about movement, Mariel. I like this.
Yes.
Are you gonna be able to see it with those beautiful sunglasses on?
Now she's up with Mariel.
Hey, where am I? Here I am.
Really close.
Yes.
I look real cool. I'm gonna do this whole ad read with these on. Ready?
Oh.
Right now. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by Movement. You guys heard us talk about Movement.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those 2 college dropouts. They were like, what are we gonna do? We dropped out of college. They started their own watch company.
Oh, they knew exactly what
they were gonna do. This company has grown like crazy, and now with almost 2 million watches sold in 160 plus countries, they continue to revolutionize fashion on the belief that style shouldn't break the bank. Look at this. Look how styling I am. Look at these. Look at that. Boom.
Styling.
Beautiful. Way styling. Movement has come far from being crowdfunded kids working out of a living room. In the past year, they've not only introduced a ton of new watch collections for both men and women, but also expanded to sunglasses and fashion-forward bracelets for her. Who doesn't want a fashion-forward bracelet?
Right?
For you.
I'd want one. Personally.
My favorite Movement item is these sunglasses. I think these are the Hide pair, and I have 2 of them. I have them in matte black, and I have them in this tortoise shell.
Trevor also has the Hide.
Were they his he left them in the kitchen? I was trying to steal them.
Maybe.
Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah,
I
he
wanted
has
to.
the Hide.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tortoise. I'm a very I like classic minimalist stuff.
No, see, I'm all about the cat eyes, and I have some Movement that are cat eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, they fit
Barbara
my
has some
face
great
so
ones too like
nice.
that. But
I might have the same one.
I get self-conscious when I try and go big, so I'm like, look at these, they're perfect. I look like a movie star.
Yeah, you
Look
do.
at that.
Yeah, you do.
I'll compliment myself.
We're complimenting you
We're
too. You're
agreeing.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
If Jean were here, she would compliment you too.
Jean
I will say.
Real
She's probably watching it at home being like,
That Mariel.
Movement watches start at just $95. At a department store, you're looking at $400 to $500. Ton of money. Movement watches offer classic design with quality construction and styled minimalism. All the things I love and you should love too. Get 15% off with free shipping and free returns by going to movement.com/open. See why Movement keeps growing. Wow, I can't speak. Check out their expanding collection. Go to movement.com/open. Join the movement.
join the movement.
Look as good as
Today.
me. Do it. Oh, you tried. Hold on.
Wouldn't that be
did.
funny if that was someone
Didn't take flight at all.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Ready?
Right. Yes. That was actually really good. You got some glide.
All right. Well, we're going to read our box of issues question. This one, I think, is anonymous. We don't have any.
I believe so, yes.
All right. This reads, I graduated from university last year in film and media production with very good grades and an award, and I've been struggling to find a job. I live in the north of England where there are barely any jobs going and none whatsoever in the media industry. Everything to do with film is in London, but I can't afford to live there, and most internships offered there are without pay. My parents insist on helping me financially, even if it means paying for me to move to London. But they've already helped me with money while at uni and paying for half my car when I got an internship out of town. I think it's about time they let me do things for myself and get any type of job while I save up for London, but I know all they will see is me wasting time and opportunity while I wave off their generosity. What would you do?
It's hard because I
get
do
it.
agree, and I'm totally all for you becoming independent and wanting to break away from any financial stability that you have, especially if it feels like it's just charity at that point, which it isn't, and I don't think you should consider it that. But it is so hard to explain how difficult it is to like find that window of opportunity. So you should take it while you can. So I would be of the opinion like it seems shitty, but like if your parents are able to support you in that,
Yes.
I would
And
go
also,
for it.
I mean, especially if they're willing to support you in that field.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
Which
hard.
is already kind of a
Which is
stretch for a
already-
lot of
exactly.
parents
When
to-
I told my parents I was
Yeah.
going to switch my major to TV and film, like they struggled with it for a while.
Oh,
And
same.
as soon as they accepted that, they're like, all right, we're all on board. Like, what do you need? But it's not an easy thing because there's so many factors and it's a lot of it's luck.
It's a industry that's very uncertain.
Yes, super
Like
uncertain.
it's not something like medicine or law where it's like there will always be jobs and like
The biggest thing I can point to
Well,
is like the
yeah.
luck happens. I think that you can make luck available to you by pursuing opportunities. And if you don't actively do something, you're never going to encounter the luck that could happen. But
Right.
yes, that's a factor. So in that sense, you are very lucky that your parents are able to support you already. So you have a one up on other people. So I would utilize that. And like, I hate to use the term, but it is true. It's like you have that privilege now. You have financial privilege. You can utilize that.
yeah.
Agreed. I'm trying to. I totally understand the desire to be self-sufficient. You know, like
Yeah.
Catley. You
Yeah,
know?
yes.
But I mean, and when I finished college and then I went to law school, I went to like a less expensive law school deliberately because my mother would have helped me, but I really wanted to do it myself. At the same time that I took out loans to pay for my tuition, I moved back home. So I lived with my mom and my stepdad again, because they wanted to be there for me. And I think that if you are fortunate enough to have parents who are able to help and want to help, there is no shame, none in the world, in
Yeah.
accepting that help.
Yeah.
And
If anything, I would just be able to acknowledge that. As long as you can
Yeah.
acknowledge it,
Just-
there is no shame.
not
there.
there's
being
no
Yeah.
shame
selfish
in
about
that.
it, yeah.
Exactly.
And I would just add, maybe, as you know, since it's a Mother's Day show, as a mother, I think if your parents want to help you, there's probably nothing that they want more than to make your life easier.
Yeah.
And if they, they don't want anything more than to see you happy.
Right.
So if they can help facilitate that happiness, and if that, go take the help, go to London and work your ass off because you're going to have to network like crazy.
I don't know if you've had the same thing or similar experience with Webb and Mills. The same with Iris. It's like my parents want to help out as much as possible. With her, so they're like, we'll pay for this, we'll help you with this. I'm like,
Yeah.
for me as a mom, there is that air of like I'm failing as a person by not
Sure.
financially supporting my family.
Right.
But I do have to take a step and think the same thing of like, okay, their whole end goal has been retirement and saving up to help my granddaughter or my daughter do what she
Or
wants
you.
to do.
I mean, that's how they're taking care of you.
Exactly.
Is by helping.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
for me personally, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to be self-sufficient. I want to be strong and go, no, I can handle it. It's okay. But I can accept them saying, again, I've worked all my life for this. I want to give you this as a gift, or I want to make sure that you have this opportunity for you. So I go, okay, cool. I'll let that happen. Or,
Right.
if you want to help Iris, awesome. I still want to make sure she's aware of the fact that that was able to happen for her.
Right.
But I'm not going to deny her that opportunity because of like some pride issue, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I can't remember where I read this, and it was a while back, but it was something. It's probably on social media somewhere. But it was something.
They all are.
Where somebody was saying that you don't. That what your parents give to you is not owed back to them.
Yeah.
The way you pay them back is by taking care of someone else farther on. Maybe your kid, maybe another, somebody else's kid
And
that
then when
needs
they're
something,
old
right?
as well.
Well,
Yeah.
and you may be called back, but it's
yeah.
not an owed
It's not an owed
situation,
thing, but I
you know,
think
it's a
Yeah.
we care for it, but it's part of humanity. We
Yeah.
care for each other when we need care.
And I've struggled with this before too, because I'm very fortunate where my parents have been very generous in my life. Like they paid for my college, they paid for my apartment while I went to college. When I moved here, they helped me with rent for the first couple months because I was just starting off on a starting salary and struggling to find my feet and everything, having to buy like basically everything to start a new life. And I don't know if I could have done it without them, but I never once felt like I owed them anything from that or that they were expecting to pay me back. And there was also that guilt of just like, I'm on my own now. I don't live with them. Like, they shouldn't be having to take care of me still. But it's something that I feel like, and they never outright said this, but it is the impression I got, that they felt fulfilled by helping me through that time period because they are my parents and they love me and they want to see you succeed and to be able to do what you want to do in life. Like they knew this was a dream job for me. And they're like, if I can make your life easier and like help you out through this, then that makes us happy.
Good Lord, if there is some tiny, like small way that I'm able to do easily, you know, like if it's not hard and I can, not that I wouldn't do something hard, but you know what I mean? Like if I can afford to do something that would help fulfill my child's dream,
Yeah.
I would
do
it. And I would be really annoyed at them if they said no. I'd be like, let me help
Iris is a year
you.
old, and I'm already like, I'm saving for her college funds.
Yes.
She could easily
Yes. Yes. I mean, like started saving instantly.
Yeah. Well, thinking about like back to choice, it's like, okay, later on she could say like, I don't want to go to college.
That's fine too.
But
Totally fine.
If she comes to me and goes, hey, I want to go to college, I want to make sure that she has the best way to go about that as
She doesn't
possible.
have to struggle with having
Well, it's
multiple jobs
options.
to pay
It's-
for
it's
it.
Student loans in America.
It's giving.
fuck off.
It goes back
So,
to your options. You know, like
Exactly.
as a feminist and as a you know like as a child, as a
choice.
girl,
Yeah.
she has choices. She has options, and now you have created a space for her where she can make those choices.
Yeah.
I was just
hopefully.
thinking
Thank
about
you.
this question and actually
It's an
kind of
interesting question.
thinking about it more and realizing that I relate to it a lot because when I graduated from UT, I went back home and my dad said, you can be here for 2 to 3 weeks. That's all we're giving you. And like, we will help you go wherever you want to go, but there's nothing. I mean, I live in like my hometown is 20,000 people. They have a newspaper.
Wow.
You know, that's it. And he was like, there's nothing for you here. So you have to go and find those opportunities and we will give you whatever you need. You just won't find it here.
Oh my gosh.
And so I remember like before because I was,
Chills.
but yeah, no, and it was so great. And I was really fortunate that when I,
It sounded bad at first.
get out right now. No,
time
I had a similar mentality from my father, but it was the same thing of like, I want you to succeed. So he was like, okay, in 2 months, we're going to find you a job. So my dad was like going into coach mode where he's like, here are all the news stations in the area, here are all the television stations. Let's apply for these places.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
mean,
like, okay.
and, you know, and it was like, my dad was like, I'm a farmer. I don't know anyone in media. I don't know anything. I can't give you those.
Can't help you.
Yeah, I can't give you those, but we will help you in other ways. And so I have family members here that I first lived with when I was working here, when I first started working here, because I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I, like, when I first started working here, I was working part-time. It wasn't promised that I would get full-time. And so it was like, you go and do it and we will help you. So fucking take it.
Yeah.
Like, don't leave that there. Take
On
it.
a separate note too, like if your trepidation is moving into the city, maybe that is something that you're not really into. With the online connectivity now, you can really create your own content where you are. Like, yeah, you're in North England. There's not a lot of like media conglomerates there, or like internship opportunities, but you can still make stuff. Like, I mean, Gavin's a great example. The town that he was from in England is not very big at all, but he was still making slow-mo guys videos in his backyard. Yep. You can still find people online who are wanting to create the same content you want to make. You can find that support group. And then, you know, utilize that to work into maybe some kind of like college career or even a career itself. If you want to just kind of fast lane it and go into like full on work, that's fine.
I just wanted to say, don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Just don't be discouraged. It's a hard field.
It's a very hard field. But
It
and ultimately
is.
with this question, I think this person who writes in is just feeling that guilt. And I understand where that comes from because
we
you
can
don't
all
want to be
relate.
taken care of and putting your parents out or making them struggle financially or whatever the case is. But if they are offering and want to do this and it's going to fulfill them and make them happy, let them.
And
Like,
the
they're your
easiest-
parents.
If it's going to fulfill them and make them happy to
Yes.
fulfill you and
Yes.
make you happy,
Yeah.
allow
And
that.
the easiest way, I will say, the easiest way to pay your parents back is just to give them a call.
And,
Yeah.
oh,
Super
so that's
easy.
that's totally true. I was going to say just be happy, but you know,
Yeah.
but yes, call your mother.
PSA from Lindsay Jones, call your fucking mother. Don't be like me and not call her and have her message you later asking if you're dead. Lindsay Jones.
Yeah.
How often do you call your mom?
Yeah.
Don't be
How
lazy.
often do you call her?
Now, every day.
Every day.
Especially after having Iris, now I just like feel inclined to do so. Like
Yeah.
she'll be doing something, I'll take a photo. Okay, here you go. Like she's playing with this doll. Okay, cool. And now she's like, I mean, she's at the phases too, where it's like now she's walking, now she's doing
every
like,
day is a new
yeah.
thing.
Did she start walking now?
Yeah.
I know she took like 4 steps the other day.
Yeah, she's trying. Yeah,
doing
she's,
it.
she's got to like 10 steps in one session. So yeah, she can walk from like one person to the other. Yeah, we'll see.
My favorite was the cruising session, where they
Using
can
things?
pull up on something and then they stand there and they can walk along it, but as long as they're holding
Yeah.
on, they're just sort of cruising around
It's
a
like me if
table,
I've had too
around
many
and around and around.
She
and
just
around.
left that. Yeah.
So
Goodness.
cute, so cute. Mills used
me
to
after a
fall
long
asleep
episode.
standing up.
Buddy.
He would cruise until he fell.
That's
He would
so
be like,
sweet.
Adorable.
Nice.
Still like you, Barb.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's my favorite position to sleep in.
Passed out in a bar.
Well, guys, thank you so much for
That
joining
was
me.
lovely.
Thank you.
Mothers,
I love it.
celebrating
I feel
mothers,
good.
celebrating the
Yes.
mothers we have here.
Mothers, call your
Mothers.
mom.
Call her.
Your mom.
Get
mom.
her,
Call
get
your
her a
dad.
nice gift, whether it's a movement bracelet or something.
Or a drawing. I love the drawings. The
drawings.
My kids make drawings for me. It's like this is the
And
best.
if you're a mother watching this show, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have a mom right over
It's
here.
true. Thank
love
you.
moms.
Where is she? There is she. There
And also that book,
I'm right here,
which a
Noah.
fan sent us right behind us, the
yes,
Marlon
Bundo.
Bundo.
I love it so much.
so
Thank you.
good.
Highly recommend you get that book.
Just
We
so
love
fucking cute.
the book.
It's amazing. And thank you to the fan who sent it in.
Yep.
We'll shout him out next time.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And call your
Cheers,
moms.
y'all.
Call your
Yes.
moms.
We love
Call
you,
your
moms,
mother.
and our moms.
We do.
Adieu.
Cheers.